Hey guys, I'm a forester here. Well, I did my taxes this past week. I wrote a check to Uncle Sam and I stuck it in the mail yesterday. So now I can turn my attention to things I'd rather be doing, like modifying the Spyderco Tenacious. I did a video of the modifications that I want to make on this knife last weekend, I believe, and now I can get started on it. The first thing I'm going to do is start working on rounding the spine of this blade. Then I'll move on to the handle scales and some other things that I've had some ideas on, like anodizing some of these standoffs. So anyway, the first step is to take it apart, and that's what I'll do now. All right, I got the knife apart, got all the pieces right here. I'm going to bag these up so I don't lose anything, but for right now I'm going to set them aside because I'm going to be working on this, the blade, and in particular I'm going to be rounding the spine of that blade. It's very sharp right now, square edges, so I'll be rounding that. Now I don't have a lot of the gear that would make this a lot easier, but what I'm going to use is what I have, and that's this wicked edge. Now normally when I sharpen a blade, I mount it with the sharp edge up, and so I'm working in that direction. I'm going to turn this blade over and mount it like this so that I'm working on the spine of the blade. And I'm going to start with the coarsest grit that I have, 100 grit. Move up to 200, 400, 600, and we'll see how far I have to go. Okay, here we go, 100 grit. And I'm easing up on the pressure as I get out toward the tip of the blade because I don't want to alter that too much. Now I could start out by doing more of this, and I may end up doing that. I don't know how long this process is going to take. And we don't need that. That's the start of my day. I'm going to dedicate 1 hour. Let's see, it's 8 o'clock Saturday morning. I'm going to dedicate 1 hour and see how much progress I make. All right, I've already learned a lesson. I've only been at it for about 5 minutes. But I found that I'm using my right hand too much. I was doing this motion, using my right hand more than my left. I was just judging, trying to make them as even as possible. And the other thing is I'm putting more pressure up here, and so it's cutting deeper on the back of the spine. So I'm going to change, and I'm going to alternate between this motion and this motion. This motion will make sure I do the same left and right. And it'll also even out the amount of work on the length of the blade. The other thing I've noticed is that I'm set on 25 degrees right now, but you can tell it's still just touching. It's only working on that very edge, and so I think eventually I'm going to back this out to the very last position. I don't know what degree that'll be, so it's more of an angle like this instead of like that. All right, check in with you later. All right, well, it's been 1 hour since I began working on this blade, on the spine of the blade. Let me clean it off, and I'll try to give you some close-up pictures of it. But I primarily worked on the 100 grit stones. You notice I ended up on the 200 grit stones just for the last few minutes to polish it up a little bit. I went in as far as 24 degrees on both sides, but that's as far as I think I'm going to go. And I think from here on out, I'm going to be working to round the top of it. As much as I can take off with these, it saves me, I think it'll save me a lot of work with the sandpaper when I start rounding it and doing the final work. But I think what I'm going to do next time I work on it, I'll put another hour into it at least. I'm going to drop it down as low as I can without rubbing into these posts and try to round more of the top off. All right, well, I'll give you some close-ups, some close-up pictures at the end of this video so you can get a good idea of what you can accomplish with this setup in 1 hour. Y'all take care.